Welcome, YouTube friends and family, to this spicy hot edition of the Wellness Homesteader, where we are going to try our hand at making some fermented hot sauce. And if you've been around a while, you'll remember we put these peppers into the brine solution back in September. So I hope you'll stay tuned. Well, first I want to say a huge welcome to all of our new subscribers. Guys, we're just developing into this nice little big family, I guess a little big family, and I'm grateful for each and every one of you. Some of you have been with me since day one. Some of you have come along the way, but irrespective of how long you've been here, I'm very glad to have each and every one of you. I do want to say just a quick word. My goal this year was to get to 5,000 subscribers, and y'all, we're at 5,940 subscribers. Now I'm getting greedy, and I would like to get an additional 60 subscribers and exceed my goal by 1,000 for the year. So what I would encourage you to do, if you would please, and you enjoy my content, first of all, smash that like button. Always leave me a comment. I love chatting with you in the comments. I do read and answer each and every one. At this point, I'm still able to do that. But down below, depending on the device, there's a little button that says share and it has an arrow. Go ahead and click on that and it will give you the options for your device, whether it's your social media, whether you're going to text a link to a video. But sharing my video really does help me out, y'all. I have been on YouTube now over 3 years and it's been a very slow growth, but I'm staying faithful with it, and through some thick and through some thin and through some grief and sadness and illness. But anyway, God is good and He's been faithful throughout this process. So you may notice in the background, it's starting to look maybe a little bit like Christmas in here. Y'all, this year, I did do a poll on my channel and I asked what you would like to see. Decorating, crafts, cooking, or mix it up. Mix it up, definitely one, but there was a very low percent of decorating. And I thought, I'm not going to worry so much about, I'm going to do what I want to do decor wise and then share, because so many of you enjoy my vintage content, share some history and have some fun with some throwback type decorations and dishes. So that's what's up for the month of December. We will have some gifts from the kitchen, and this is our first one. So if you remember back at September 23rd, if you can see that, we put my homegrown jalapenos in a salt brine mixture in a vented ball jar with a spring. Now you can ferment your peppers anywhere from, it depends on the source, guys. Some say 1 to 2 weeks, some say 2 to 3 months. We're at the 2-month mark. How I knew that it was time to go ahead and make the hot sauce and not to wait any longer is not because I've had any mold or organisms. And guys, you may see some floaties. Those are seeds or garlic, crushed garlic. When I shake it, I'm not getting a lot of bubbles anymore. So the fermentation process has kind of stopped. So it's time, guys. So what are we going to need for today? Well, depends on which recipe y'all want to use. So you need your peppers, you need your brine. So don't make the mistake of draining out the brine, because we're going to use that to thin down the ground up peppers. And then you're going to need a vinegar. Now, I debated on this, but I'm going to give it a try. Depending on the recipes that you search, and y'all, I've never made my own hot sauce before, so I sound like an expert, don't I? Well, YouTube University, Google University. I've seen everything from white vinegar, which would not be my first choice, apple cider vinegar, which is a strong contender, and white wine vinegar. Well, I was like, oh, I have white wine vinegar. Well, actually what I have is white balsamic. So I gave it a little smell and I thought, this is amazing, right? I think that's what I'm going to use. You can use any of them. So let me reposition the camera. We are going to open our peppers, give them a smell, drain off the liquid reserving it, and get ready to make our own fermented hot sauce suitable for Christmas giving. Moment of truth. So these ball fermentation lids have a little vent. Did you hear that? Where you can actually burp any accumulated gases, because this will produce gas. Now, one of the concerns that I had, and I fermented a lot of veg, I've just never fermented peppers for this long. I thought, wow, I wonder how you would know that it isn't good. And there is a white mold-looking substance that can grow on the top. I did not have that. That is safe. If you've got green or brown or fuzzy mold, might not be safe to eat. So okay, I don't want it to explode. Let's go ahead and pull our spring. Oh my word, y'all. Whoo! It's gonna light somebody up. Oh, that smells amazing. The garlic came through more than I thought it would. So, simple, easy peasy. We're going to just drain. Now, I wanted my sauce hot, because after all, it is hot sauce, right? My apologies. That is some powerful stuff. I got a big old whiff of it. So, what I want to start by doing, and y'all, you could wear gloves. I just don't think they're gonna, I don't plan on, like, you know, de-seeding or really handling them a whole bunch. So I do have a couple cayennes in here as well, guys. I'm just gonna start spooning these into my blender. Now, you might have a Ninja or a Vitamix. Those are great blenders. But guys, I bought, and I'll try to link it, I don't know if it's even still made. I bought this Instant Pot Ace blender that does everything. It smoothies, crushes ice, it purees, it makes frozen desserts, it makes all kinds of nut and grain milk. It actually can make a soup where you blend it and it heats it. I have found it to be an amazing blender. I purchased this at Walmart like 4 or 5 years ago for $44.95 or $49.99. Like, it was so cheap. And I thought maybe they weren't going to make it anymore, but I have seen it since. So you might want to look at some Black Friday deals that seem to continue on to Never Land. Okay. Whew, y'all. I might need tissues for this. I am going to pull out that. It's not bad. It's just like a harder core. All right. I do want to carefully measure my liquid. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start with about a 1/4 cup of liquid. Wow. Buy a lottery ticket, guys. I hit it first try. Just to make the blend up process a little easier. I'm not going to put any vinegar in yet until I kind of see how it looks like it's coming out. Now, I did a 1/2 gallon jar and I filled it pretty full. So I'm hoping to do this like in 2 batches. That way, if I'm not as crazy about the white wine balsamic vinegar, or what is it called? White balsamic vinegar. I'm trying to make it winey. I would have an option. Also, just to note, you can adjust your brine to vinegar ratio. Most recipes I saw call for equal parts. If you like a tangier hot sauce, a more vinegary hot sauce, cut back your liquid that comes, the brine, and add more vinegar. If you like a saltier, less tangy, then you would do the reverse. So let me, guys, this is so loud. I can remember how to do this. I don't use this very much. And this blender does a, plug your ears, guys. Here we go. Let's see what it looks like. immediately apparent that's not near enough liquid. So let's add our 1/4 cup of balsamic, and then we're going to blend it. And I'll spare your ears, guys, but I am going to blend it on high for a while because it's going to take a while to get all of the seeds and ribs and such out. And your seeds is where the heat is. So if you like a less hot sauce, you just want the fermented pepper taste, you could remove some of the seeds. You can strain the seeds out. I may do some of both. Some recipes also recommend once you get your mixture, and we'll do some tasting. Pray for me, guys. It's like, yeah, it's not even 7 o'clock in the morning and I'm eating hot sauce. Some recipes recommend that you cook it to stop the fermentation process so that it is more stable of a product, so it's not going to change over time. Any way you do it, you don't have to boil it. You would definitely want to refrigerate it. So I am going to put this on high, add in my vinegar. And y'all, you know, I try to make fun of myself a little bit, y'all, because, you know, when you're a shorter person, it's a challenge. And I never thought of myself as being short because my mom, I was 6 inches taller than my mother. And y'all have probably seen pictures of us together. I mean, I look like the Jelly Green Giant next to her, and I'm only 5'2". So, yeah. I used to be 5'4", but gravitational pull has shortened me and many, many back surgeries. All right, enough talk. Let's get this blended. All right, as you see, I just dipped a spoon in there, and I apologize about the coughing fits. Guys, this has a lot of heat to it. And I thought it would. It's still, pardon me, y'all, still pretty textured, if you will. I think it needs more liquid. But let's taste it, just see how the balance is. Whew. Wow, that's tasty. Personally, I like a very vinegary hot sauce. I would do more vinegar than brine. It's just me. Have something to cool you down at the ready. Guys, that is a nice level of heat. You know, my son loves hot sauce, so this is a labor of love for him. Well, he comes by it honestly, I'll just say that. But he is way into the like ghost peppers and death peppers or whatever they're called. I am not so much. I like the heat, but I don't want my mouth to be numb. It's still burning, but it's not, well, okay. It does not make your lips numb. That's when it like when my mouth starts to get numb, that's when I'm like, yeah, no. So, excuse me, I am gonna add a 1/4 cup more balsamic, and I'm gonna just let this blend for a while. I just want to try to get the consistency right before we do the rest of the peppers. And I may try the apple cider vinegar because the white balsamic is pretty mild of a back note. So for me, it's plenty salty. I'm not a big salt consumer. Hypertensive much. But I've just never been a big salt eater. So yeah, let's keep mixing and tasting and hope I don't blow up before lunchtime. All right, stay tuned. Okay. This is much, much smoother consistency. I'm very happy with the amount of peppers I used, and y'all saw how many I used. I didn't measure them. So like a shy quart maybe of fermented peppers with 1/2 cup of white balsamic, 1/4 cup of the brine. So, and y'all, in case you're wondering, I have like 4,000 spoons over here. I'm not double dipping because I do plan to gift this. All right, here we go. So it's nice and thick, but as you see, can y'all see that? It's not as glumpy, like clumpy as it was. Okay, here we go. Perfect. All right. So maybe you like hot sauce, but you're more of a sriracha girl or boy, male or female. You can basically ferment any type of pepper. What I would say is if you don't want it this hot, and to me this isn't too hot. I mean, it's hot, but like I said, my lips are not numb yet. I've eaten some hot food in my time, guys. And I went through a stage where everything was hot sauce and jalapenos. I've tried to moderate that. But here's something you may not know. If you struggle with any kind of inflammatory process like an arthritis or an autoimmune, and I'm not giving you medical advice, there is research that says the capsaicin in spicy peppers is very good for your joints. So I ought to have like 20-year-old joints. I don't. I've eaten enough. I probably do. Guys, I think this is ready to try to put it into some bottles. So I think what I'm going to do is do the next batch with the apple cider, and I can link these below. These are the cutest little things. I used it last year for, I think, vanilla. I got these off of Amazon. I will try to find them and link them, but it's like, I can never remember which way it is. I think it goes this way. They lock down, so they're not gonna leak easily. I would not recommend them for shipping. So let me fill up a couple of these bottles. I am not gonna cook mine. I thought it through, and I thought, you know, if I cook it for 15 minutes to stop the fermentation process, is that going to kill off the gut beneficial bacteria? My thought on that is yes. And if you look at websites of people who are quite prolific in the fermentation process and they ferment a lot of different foods, they will tell you don't do that. So let me get these jarred up. I'll show you how pretty they are. It would be pretty if it was red, if I had some red ones, but that's not what we did. I used what I had, and next year will be my year to do the serranos or some red type peppers. I also want to do I think they're called Chinese 5 spice. They're like 5 different color peppers. So yeah, pepper plans in the works. All right, guys, let me get this jarred up. I'm gonna rinse the blender because it's really easy to do. And then we're gonna start on our second batch, and I will do a taste comparison and let you know what I think. Stay tuned. All right, this batch, total different color. Show you the differences. So this is a lot oranger because this does have some cayennes. I could not think of the name of the pepper. Those are cayenne long reds and some mini hots that are shaped like a bell pepper. Yeah. It smells so good. I think the apple cider vinegar is going to be the winner, but guys, let's give it a taste test. Nice and smooth. Probably don't need that much. Clear winner. Woo, guys, that is hot. This will be my son's favorite. So now what? Now that we've got them all blended together, I have actually identified which one I like the best. They're very different. The first one that we made with the white balsamic vinegar is kind of, it's more of a savory flavor, more of a fermented flavor. This is just good old hot sauce. The level of salt, and I had more peppers, but I did 1/3 of a cup and 1/3 of a cup of each, equal parts brine to apple cider vinegar. And guys, it doesn't have to be fancy. I'm using the Walmart brand. This tastes saltier to me, which I think I prefer. So, you know, the differences in vinegar can make a big difference. So you can kind of mix that up. So let me bottle this up and I'll come back for some final thoughts. If I don't explode by then. No, it's not really that hot. In fact, the first one to me feels hotter than this one. This one is more flavorful. All right, guys, stay tuned. Well, time for the final thoughts. And whenever I do a project like this that is new to me, pardon me, guys, I'm still coughing from inhaling too much heat. I always try to decide, was it worth my time, energy, money, effort? So if you remember back to when I preserved the peppers or started fermenting the peppers, This was end of season, last pepper pick. I'd already made 2 batches of cowboy candy. I'd eaten all the raw jalapenos I cared to. So this was literally something that I wasn't sure what to do with the rest of the peppers, and I think it was a very, very good choice. So this was grown from seed that I harvest year to year. It did come from rareseeds.com, but it has a different name, but that's okay. And they're the large jalapenos. I do think that the ball fermentation kit is very much worth your money. I pulled out the box for you. It comes with 2 of the springs, 2 of the self-venting lids. I would highly recommend it only because I have had spoilage and failures over and over when air got to my fermentation process. So in order to grow those good bacteria, I hate calling it that, but that's what they are, you need an anaerobic or without air environment. So anything you want to ferment needs to be below the liquid. It turns into a high acid environment where bad germs, molds, fungus, etc. cannot grow. So I've tried a lot of different ways. I did read, in case you don't want to invest in this, but you have some vegetables you'd like to ferment, that you can put a plastic baggie in there. I don't know. I don't think I'd want plastic in my ferment, but anyway, so let's give the final review. So we have white balsamic versus apple cider vinegar with some cayenne. Hands down, this is my favorite. I think this is very good as well, but they're 2 very different flavor profiles, which surprised me since it was all fermented together. It really didn't cost me much, guys. A little bit of vinegar, a little bit of salt, some water. Super simple. I already had the containers. This is from the Amish store. It's something, it's one of their salad dressings that I really like. So, you know, I made some little ones for gift giving and then a couple big ones for me. If they last and they're still here, my son will dispose of them while he's here for the holidays. So y'all, I hope you are having a good start to your holiday season, however you celebrate. You know, remember, if you're thus inclined and believe the real meaning of Christmas in my viewpoint, you know, don't forget to thank the Lord every day for his blessings. I have to tell you all, it has been a rough last month for me. It really has, with the nausea and the fatigue. And I woke up yesterday feeling like, wait, I don't feel like getting sick. And I only did once yesterday and I haven't yet today. So that's progress, right? So it may have just been that I needed some time to get adjusted to the medication. I'm still waiting to hear back from the doc, but I'm sure we'll get it all sorted out. So I will see you for Throwback Thursday. We're going to work on some holiday side dishes that diabetics can eat and that, you know, might just add a nice healthy addition to your holiday table. So don't forget to smash that like button on your way out. Don't forget to share. Drop me a comment below. Would you consider making fermented hot sauce, or are you just like, no thanks, I'll use ketchup? All right, guys, I will see you Thursday, but until then, be healthy, be well, be blessed, and take care.